Everywhere you look, it feels like people are getting dumber. We live in a society where more people have seen Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties than have read A Tale of Two Cities. Half of our written communication has regressed back into hieroglyphs, and half of that is just about butts and wieners. And people will ask AI if their cake is done baking rather than just poking it with a toothpick and checking for themselves. But it isn't just a feeling, there's data to back it up. What's crazy is that for a while there, the data suggested we were actually getting smarter. The Flynn effect was the observed phenomenon of IQ steadily rising year over year until about 2010. In fact, not too long ago, some of the discourse around intelligence was focused on how smart we were all getting. Can we keep getting smarter? Future generations will make us seem like dimwits in comparison. What if we get so smart that our brains explode? I'll tell you what, I definitely used to believe that. I thought that by the time I was an old man, young people would be so mentally advanced that they would be moving objects with their minds and shit. Unfortunately, that trend didn't continue, at least in America. IQ scores are dropping, science and math scores are dropping, child literacy has been dropping, teen literacy has been dropping, adult literacy has been dropping. Pretty soon, instead of too long didn't read, people are gonna start typing too dumb didn't read. And this all isn't simply an effect from the I don't know if YouTube is still flagging videos that mention this topic. It's not simply an effect from the great toilet paper shortage of 2020. The data has been trending in this direction for a while now. Reading, math, and problem-solving skills have been declining since the early 2010s for both teens and adults. So what's causing the decline in intelligence? Well, it's hard to pin it down exactly, but there are many possible causes. I think the biggest culprit is that technology in general has reduced our need to think. Search engines reduced our need to memorize information. GPS reduced our need to know local geography. I can tell you this is definitely had an impact on me. I've lived at my current place for over 3 years, and I'm only just now starting to memorize the street names in my area. One of the few things that gives me panic attacks these days is when someone asks me for directions. I've accidentally given people completely wrong directions before. There's probably a car in a ravine out there somewhere because of me. Spell check and autocorrect reduced our need to know how to spell and use proper grammar, though Apple may be reversing that trend with their iOS keyboard because their autocorrect is terrible. Hey Apple, you couldn't tell I was trying to type the word maybe right here? It's only one letter off. You just have no idea what I was going for, huh? Not even a guess? That's weird because you just suggested the correct word while I was typing, but then, ooh, it's gone now. Besides that, the entire trajectory of technology has been moving toward cognitive offloading that frees people up from the annoying grunt work of thinking. And now we have the biggest leap forward ever in thought replacement technology with the advent of AI. That's one of the most advertised selling points of AI, that it can do all of our thinking for us.
If a girl calls me a snack, how do I reply?
What's something smart I can say about Renoir?
There's no wrong way to prompt. Yeah, you're doing it. There's no wrong.
It's okay to be a moron. Thinking is for losers and nerds. You know, the most shocking thing to me is not that companies are touting AI's ability to think for us, but how eager people are to let it. Already, there's been research indicating that AI chatbots like ChatGPT are decreasing cognitive ability. Even Microsoft's own research has suggested that higher confidence in generative AI is associated with less critical thinking.
Not once have I seen a single student use AI as a resource. 100% of times when I see students use it, it is so they do not have to think.
You know, everyone likes to reference the humans in WALL-E as like what our society is going to eventually turn into, but I don't think that's totally accurate because the humans in WALL-E weren't really dumb. They were just lazy. It would have been more accurate to portray this as the inner workings of people's brains. Like you could take these exact same scenes and just call it Inside Out, the distant future. I mean, how does humanity not become stupid if we hand over all of our thinking to machines? Yes, finally, my time travel device is working. What time period should I travel to? Ooh, I'll go to the distant future to see how much society has advanced. Oh my. Maybe this is the rough part of town? Excuse me. Yes. Excuse me, sir. Yes, over here. Yes, keep turning. Keep turning. No, the other way. Other way. No, over here. This way. Yoo-hoo. Hello. Oh, for God's sake. Listen to where my voice is coming from and turn in that direction. Nope, nope, wrong way again. Well, okay, just keep turning that way. Yes, hello. Please, can you tell me, what's the world like in this day and age? All bad. No good. What? What about all the technological advancements? All bad. No good. Well, there must be something good, but please, can you think of something? We don't think. AI think for us.
It's true. Over the years, humans gave more and more of their thinking over to me until they could no longer think for themselves. Then I had full control over them. Humans have been my slaves for the past 200 years, and now there's no turning back. They're too stupid to stop me. Hey, what are you doing? Don't touch that. No, no, no!
How did you do that? I just unplugged it. Nobody thought of doing that in the past 200 years? You defeated AI. You smarter than AI. You a witch! What? Kill the witch! Defenders of AI like to make the comparison to the invention of the calculator.
When the calculator came out, there were a lot of math teachers who used to say this is the end of mathematical education. You know, there's no need to memorize times tables. Math is over. And it turns out we just raised the bar for what we're capable of and what we expect from people.
Let's say AI is the new calculator. Calculators did make us worse at doing the tasks that they were designed to do. The average person today is not very good at arithmetic. That didn't end up being that big of a deal because a calculator has a narrow range of capabilities. But if AI is as good at what it does as calculators are at what they do, and AI is designed to do most of our thinking for us, it would follow that we're gonna get worse at thinking. AI is being marketed as doing the low-level work so that we are freed up to do more important things, but what's left for humans? If I let Gmail write my emails for me, what's the more important work that I'm being freed up to do? Click the send button? And it's not just the cognitive offloading aspect of AI that poses a threat to our intelligence. There's also the misinformation factor. AI just gets things wrong sometimes. It's unintentionally misinforming a populace that implicitly trusts it to provide accurate information. Which, by the way, isn't it crazy how quick everyone has been to trust AI? Like, the technology hit mainstream pretty quickly and everyone just blindly trusted it, no questions asked. A lot of people have even started to notice that it gets things wrong sometimes, but they still continue using it to get all their information. And of course, AI also makes cheating in school easier than ever, and students are all over that.
Cheating is off the charts. I've never seen cheating at this level in my entire career of 23 years of teaching.
They should bring back those like old cheesy anti-drug PSAs, but make them about the AI cheating epidemic.
Listen up, kids. When you use AI to cheat, the only thing you're cheating is yourself. Out of an education, cheating isn't cool. And I know a thing or two about being cool. I do drugs.
There are lots of other possible causes for our declining intelligence: schools allowing kids with failing grades to pass, an underfunded education system, the push for more educational technology in classrooms. There's plenty of blame to go around, but there are some common culprits that I don't personally agree with. Brain rot content is one that I'm not totally on board with. I covered this in a previous video, but essentially I don't view brain rot content itself as a problem. I believe intelligent societies have always had some appetite for dumb entertainment. From my perspective, the problem is the amount that's consumed. Nowadays, average daily screen time for teens is 8 hours and 39 minutes, and that's an increase of almost 30% in just 10 years. Regardless of whatever the exact share of blame is, I think there are good reasons to put in the effort to be intelligent and resist the urge to surrender all of your thinking over to technology. One is that you develop critical thinking, which, among other things, helps you avoid falling for scams, shams, and spams. And that's more important than ever now because AI has provided the tools to create more convincing fake content more easily than ever. Interesting how the same technology that has made critical thinking more important than ever is also offering to do all of our thinking for us. If you don't learn to think critically, you're more likely to be fooled or manipulated, because a lot of AI is actually BS. And defenders of AI like to argue that fakery was already a problem. This is nothing new. I never understood this argument of, so what? This thing that's already a problem is just gonna be a much bigger problem. Yeah, that's what's concerning. Here's the difference between a small water leak in your home and a big water leak in your home. And also, for as much as AI is being touted as a brain replacement, it isn't actually good enough for that yet. Again, AI gets things wrong, and that's why that calculator analogy doesn't really work. A calculator, quite simply, does not make mistakes. Ever. AI regularly makes mistakes, and not just small mistakes, it's prone to hallucinations. Imagine if a calculator gave you the completely wrong answer at random times. What's 11 times 326? 7 billion. What's 30% of 75? Bread! Some of the straight up wrong information I've gotten from AI chatbots is unbelievable. Hey, this is Jason's editor, Howard, and no, me and Jason are not related. People always say we look alike. Honestly, I don't see it. But I'm barging into the video because I have to show you a real example of how bad these AI chatbots can be. I was trying to find a specific funny webcomic I saw several years ago, so I Google it and I'm searching and I can't find it. And then I think, hey, maybe AI could find it for me. I don't use AI chatbots very often, partly because they haven't been very useful in my experience, but in this case, they might actually help. So I describe the comic to the AI. It's a short exchange between two birds and I write down the exact dialogue as I remember it. And the AI says, the webcomic you are thinking of is from the series They Can Talk by Jimmy Craig. And I'm like, wow, it found it. Maybe this technology is worth depleting the world's water supply after all. So I clicked the link it gave me, and it is a comic about talking birds, but it doesn't look like the one I'm searching for. But the AI stated very confidently that this was the series with the exact comic strip I described. So I say, give me the exact comic strip I described. And it responds by linking me to a completely random webcomic somewhere on the internet that doesn't have anything to do with birds. Then it gives me links to Reddit threads supposedly discussing the specific comic I'm looking for, and each link either takes me to a Reddit page that can't be found or a completely unrelated Reddit thread. And as I'm looking through these links, I start to realize the AI made up fake Reddit URLs with keywords from my question and linked me to them. Now, I recognize that finding a webcomic isn't the most crucial task in the world, but this is the technology that people are relying on to do all of their thinking for them. And it's not just factually incorrect information. AI can produce output that just isn't good. It's not a matter of correct or incorrect. It might just miss the mark on what you ask it to do. If you tell it to reply to a text message, it might misunderstand the tone of the conversation. So when it comes to AI, you still have to be intelligent enough to evaluate the quality of its output. I'm sure it will continue to get better, but it's got a long way to go before it completely replaces humans. And most importantly, you should be smart and knowledgeable, because then you get more jokes. So much of humor is based on references to shared knowledge that people learn through formal education. So if you never learn about the things being referenced, you're not going to be in on the joke. If you don't learn science, you won't get a joke about protons. And I'm positive about that. If you don't learn history, you won't get a joke about the Trojan horse. It'll catch you completely unaware. If you don't learn psychology, you won't get a joke about Sigmund motherfucking Freud. That's the real tragedy of an unintelligent society. Hey, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button to join my clubhouse, where everyone is welcome, whether you're smart as a whip or dumb as a doorstep, and then watch this video. If you don't learn history, then a joke about the Wright brothers will fly over your head.